Yeah, man, let's rip.
But I'd reached out to Matt several months ago and we were still doing the Primal Focus podcast because I love the way that he shows up, not just online, because it's so authentic that this is how he shows up in real life with him and his wife. Like they just have this aura and this connection about him that seems so peaceful, so playful, but so friendly. And that's so rare, when it comes to how people actually approach their lives. And it was attractive as shit. My wife and I reached out to him, but here we are. Jake, you're not my wife. You're also turning gray, which is really strange. So I appreciate your time. Appreciate you being here. Can you give us a quick blurb about your background and what brought you to the place you are right now with the credibility and the life that you currently get to live?
Okay, so one, I would think everything brings me to where I am, right? Like, I don't think if I change anything, I'm not here is kind of how it works. So to keep it simpler for the sake of this, I spent 10 years competing as a professional Highland Games athlete, won 2 world championships. I wrote a book about Highland Games training, which one thing came into that was I talked about a mindset I had around my training, which was the hate. I built an apparel brand off of it for 10 years and changed that to Not Dead Yet. We sold, about $15 million in apparel over 10 years in the online space. Started creating content around 2008. Have been really consistent with it since. Shifted from doing apparel to doing coaching, mentorship, hosting retreats, something else I'm more interested in my own life. And I've been doing that now for the last 4 years, building community with Not Dead Yet, hosting retreats like our Men's Hard Reset. And then we've got our big Montana exposure retreat that we host every year, kind of up in the Whitefish area.
Okay. Here's my question. Does hate still apply?
Yeah, it does. It does, but the application of it wasn't right. It's a young man's angry application, man. It was a lot of strive to be better, not tolerating my bullshit, hating my weaknesses, hating my excuses, hating all that, which is still how I feel.
Yeah.
However, back then it was very much once I do this, I'll be worth X.
Yeah.
This holding this boot against my neck to not, settle for anything less than. And through that process, what I still figured out that I'm still me. I still have the same fears and anxieties and these things in my head. And how about running toward who I want to be instead of running away from who I've been? Like, I feel like there's a very different energy in that.
Yeah. I absolutely love that. Do you think there's an evolution to hate and aggression, whether it's masculinity or just societally, that you really understood? Like you said, you still have the hate. It's just, it's appropriately placed where necessary. Do you think there was an evolution to it? Or do you think you had a light bulb moment as you were going through your process of growth?
I think just an evolution of it. Like, there hasn't been a really whole lot of slapped in the face one moment of true clarity that changed everything. It's kind of always been this ongoing process. I think you have those moments, right? Like whatever they are. And that tends to be the spark of change for me. Mm-hmm. It doesn't tend to be the inferno. Like the inferno gets built on actually following through with the awareness I had and implementing a different strategy in my life.
Yeah.
But having those moments of going, holy shit, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Having a moment of realizing finally me increasing my income is not going to make me any happier.
That's huge, because a lot of the people that we've worked with over the years, whether that's in studio or online, they're fueled with so much anger, but that anger comes out in a lack of clarity, because they have these fears and these stresses about money and bills and what ifs and variables and fear. And one thing that I had to learn the hard way was all of those things can be valuable as long as I have the right approach and the right belief system or the right plan of attack. Like
mindset.
the right mindset. Man, I could have said that a lot easier. But I think a lot of it does come from a place of knowledge of self, because a lot of people come into industries, especially the online space, with this expectation of, but they're still uncertain of who it is they are. They're just trying to chase or inevitably become like, if I do this, it will help me become that instead of becoming this, so that this becomes intrinsically easier and more authentic. All right, what's going on, guys? I wanted to cut in on this video really quick to extend the offer for you to come in and work with the Force of Focus in a much more community-based level. Now, all of the information that I provide here is extremely valuable and important for you to know about the industry that you're in, but being able to work in a room full of artists who are all not only applying the systems, but keeping each other accountable changes the entire trajectory of your success and of your scalability. So if this is something you're interested in, we're going to attach the link down below in the description. Let us know if you have any questions. Obviously, like, comment, subscribe, but make sure that you are willing to roll the dice. You have to be able to get up and get out. You have to be able to play the game, not just ride the bench. And this is exactly where you can do that. It's not your run-of-the-mill program. This is community approach. This is how we work together and we navigate the sea of uncertainty in this creative career path. I cannot wait to see you in there with us.
So if I'm gathering, right, like it's this caught up area that we often get believing that the destination's more important than the journey.
Yeah.
That like once I graduate college, then I'll be respected. Mm-hmm. I'll be able to get work, or once I finish this course, or once I get my NASM degree, I am allowed to coach.
Yeah.
Like whatever the destination that you believe is the important part, when it's what you learned along the journey. Mm-hmm. Is far more valuable. That's why 20 years of training consistently is more important than you going to get your certification over the weekend. I don't need to have a certification. I have evidence.
Yeah. When it comes to your training process, is that energy that you put into training the same way that you navigate the rest of your life, the same way you interact with your wife with the intention of like the mind to muscle, mind to relationship, mind to action? Is that something that you can just spread across the board with the same level of passion?
So kind of when I had to recalibrate things, right? Like after getting hurt, going through injury, being in chronic pain, got fired from the real job. And now I am all pursuit entrepreneurship and I'm lost, man. No clue what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So reframing all of those things to look at my athletic career as this is this one area that I can't argue about, that I found greatness, right? Mm-hmm. Like, look, man, I got to be best in the world twice. And that for sure is at least one area of my life where I can say I gave this everything for 10 years. Here's what I found. Yeah. And so I want to give anything else I care about the same attention that I gave that. And so how did I give that attention, right? Mm-hmm. I trained when I don't fucking feel like it, because I was very connected to the curiosity of how good I can be at this. Not once I get this, I'll show you. No one fucking cares. It's Highland Games. Yeah. Like over that time, how many days did I train sore? Also, when I was tired and sore, I build in deloads. Smart training cycles have deloads. Very few people build deloads into their regular life, especially entrepreneurs, so that you avoid burnout. Burnout's the same thing as getting injured. Want to make real progress? Don't burn out for the next 10 years and be able to continue making consistent effort, like progress.
Where do you think burnout comes from?
Don't get fucking hurt.
Yeah. Where do you think that burnout comes from for a lot of people? Because I think there's a few different ways that people perceive it. But I think burnout, where do you think that burnout?
There's a lot of people. So there's two types of burnout. Mm-hmm. You have burnout as an excuse, and you have burnout of people who are actually cooked. And there's a big difference. A lot of people claim burnout and they were never on fire to begin with.
Yeah.
Burnout is an excuse for laziness and an inability to be consistent. That's not burnout.
Yeah.
Not being able to follow through isn't burnout. Grinding 10 years still doing a thing at a job that you don't like and you don't know why you go every day, but you still go.
I was just going to say, Matt, do you think that's a lack of passion when somebody uses that burnout as an excuse? They just never fully loved what the fuck they were doing in the first place.
Perhaps not enough.
Yeah.
Not enough to overcome the low.
Yep.
But
and I love how you said the deload, man. As a power lifter and a strongman, I'm never at your level or caliber, but
it makes sense, right? Like you don't just train until injury, right? Like, is that what you do in training? You just go in as hard as you can every day until you're fucking hurt?
Yeah, your 5-3-1 or your hypertrophy or whatever Wendler, whatever you're doing. Yeah, without that day, because even when we're younger, this was 15 years ago when I was doing that type of training, but you know what I mean? I thought I was invincible until the knee or the shoulder or something.
Yeah, of course, right.
Then you have to listen to the coach and you have to actually just not lift that day or go get the massage. So I love how you put that, because I've never put that in perspective with business, because that comes with so much clarity when you said that. I was just like, fucking deload your.
So let's then break down like what the purpose of the deload is. Yeah. I'm still usually, so me training wise, I build in a deload every 5 weeks, give or take.
Yep.
Especially when I was competing. And so the goal of that deload is rest and recovery so that I come back to the next training cycle as excited, with as much information about how the last one went and a slight change or two to apply to the next one. Mm-hmm. But we don't do that with our business. We just plow ahead and ahead and ahead. And burnout ends up just the narrowing of scope of what you think the problem to solve is gets smaller and smaller, but you don't give yourself any room to take a step back, gain some new perspective and go, holy shit, things have been great the last 5 weeks.
Yeah.
All I can see is this lack of where I'm not yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Instead of recognizing, holy shit, we added 6 inches to this throw. We did this. Why don't we rest? And so that we're excited to start the next cycle instead of dreading to start the next week because I'm burnt. I would rather stay there long term.
Could you give me an example of like a deload in your business? Like what would that week or day or 3 days or period look like?
Okay. So what are the things my business demands the most of me, right? Like I need to be present. For the most part, work right now is pretty digitally based. So I'm sitting at a desk on Zoom calls, working with clients, things like that. So that's kind of my reactive work in the afternoon. So I schedule calls with clients from usually 12 to 5. So my morning time is mine. So I train, do all those type of things, but that's not really deload. This kind of give you an idea of what my day looks like. Mm-hmm. And then any creative, productive work that needs to happen, whether it's writing, filming content, working on a book, planning an adventure, whatever gets done in that first block of the morning. Calls that need to be done for things like this instead of whatever it is, proactive stuff that helps grow my business where I actually need to be on point and creative. So if those are the demands from my job and not my back squat being the best, how do I set myself up to feel more creative and more connected to my purpose? So I meditate on a relatively daily basis. I spend some time meditating. I spend time journaling. I spend time in gratitude. And then every so often, I like to macrodose those things. I like having a weekend where I just take care of me, where I just operate without my phone and I wander and I get to observe and I get to see the planet and I get to have a new perspective and realize why I work so fucking hard. I get to remember how much I enjoy this life. I get to remember how grateful I am. I take my van out for the day. I deload. I do the things like earning an income's purpose is so that I can spend more of my time doing things I'm in love with, not to figure out how I can optimize to work a little bit more to find more income. Beautiful. I'm not trying to win the game of income. I'm trying to win the game of having fun and enjoying my fucking life.
That was really well put, because a lot of the thing most people struggle with is more and urgency. But because of the urgency and the hyperfixation on more, they sacrifice themselves.
It's interesting to see how it's built into our culture.
Yeah.
Like I think Western culture is built on kind of a capitalism first. And then we kind of work our way down to Christianity having a giant influence on things.
Mm-hmm.
This is an awareness. I'm not pro con or any of that, but just taking an awareness of, say, what patterning that builds into people.
Yeah.
Christianity has a other. There is a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
There is someone not to be. There is opposition. There is some feeling of righteousness for being on one side and not the other. There is someone that if they don't convert, they are punished. If you are not this, there is punishment.
Mm-hmm.
So we strive to always battle this other. We're always operating from a place of we're not enough. Happiness is not the focus in the West. Productivity is, capitalism is, and we use those to measure our self-value. So that builds in a lot of that patterning.
What's your alternative worldly view to that? Like, how do you perceive outside of what the social standard and that norm that you just described is?
So I don't know that I would say I subscribe to any specific thing. I think creating an identity around anything that governs me and doesn't open me up to new experiences completely open-minded is causing me suffering. I like being able to realize I don't think any of it's inherently important, which means I get to put it all together in what works in the best philosophy for me to reach the life I want to live. Mm-hmm. So there are some parts of Christianity I really like. I like the way Jesus lived. I think that was pretty rad. Old Testament God, not my favorite. I like Buddhism, and I like nihilism, and I like absurdism, and I like these type of things that put the power back into the actual person. Instead of waiting like I'm sitting behind some gates of judgment for someone to tell me if I'm fucking good enough.
Yeah.
Instead, what I realize, the ultimate power that I think there is in this divine is the power to create. And I have the power to create my life. And what a fucking honor.
I love that. So talk more about that creativity. Is every action you take with the understanding that each moment is a creation, or is each moment creating a destination that you hope to be able to achieve or experience?
Ideally, I'm trying to live as much in right now as possible.
Yeah.
That the actions I am taking are aligned with where I would like things to go. But I'm not really looking at it as a destination as much of a direction. I know the destination doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Right. But I want to learn from pursuing a direction. So if I want to take that back to Highland Games, and while that gets blurry along the path, right, of winning world championships or winning a second or thinking about legacy or PRs or where you can fit into world standings, at the very beginning of it, what was my real goal here? See how far I can throw these things? That's it?
That's very,
Well, I did. I put everything into figuring out how far I can throw these things. That was the pursuit. And in that, I learned consistency. I learned discipline. I learned how to overcome the voice in my head that says, not today, I don't feel like it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I learned how to recover so that I don't get injured. I learned how to back off. I learned how to manage anxiety in times of stress because I have to throw when it counts at world championships. It's that journey that gave me everything I have. The world championship medals don't mean shit.
Mm-hmm.
I could still have all of those gifts, even if I sucked at the sport as far as the world standing goes.
So with all of that being said, what's your perception on things like vision boards? Because right now, I mean, not even right now, there's always kind of a value to having a vision board, having a clear mission, something to work towards so you don't spider web into a million directions. There you go. Legitimate, physical, tangible vision board.
They're color coded just for you, Mike.
They're not color coded for any specific reason. They're just color coded. Okay. They're just whichever sticky note is closest.
Gotcha.
That's my vision board. I teach that with clients. I teach it webinars, have a course. It's a functional vision board.
Mm-hmm.
So I built it around a couple different things, around having macro goals and micro goals and mini goals and atomic goals. But the biggest part of it is this section here. This section of stuff is under a part on my vision board that I call evidence of progress.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So everything that gets done, the sticky note goes there. And so what this does for me with my vision board is it keeps me out of the gap. It keeps me out of that place of thinking, or I can only see how far I have left to go, when I know enough, because I'm honest with me, I will move that goalpost.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So if I keep withholding gratification and success and happiness and accomplishment from myself until I finish the thing, what's the fucking point? There's no thing. I'm just doing the journey.
Mm-hmm.
So instead, I have this giant amount of evidence that I can't argue with, saying that I'm making progress. And as long as I keep putting things over there, we keep going the direction I want. I can remove myself from saying it has to happen by this day, because that's bullshit.
Yeah.
I've never done this before. Why would I know? Because you did it? None of that means shit to me. It's my journey. And so this keeps me stoked on it. Another area that I've got on that board, I only have like 2 or 3 goals at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And another area that I keep on the board is something that I call the avoidance list. I got this out of a book called The Third Door, which is great, by the way. Alex Banyan. And the avoidance list is anything I come up with that's a good idea, fun thing I'd like to pursue. I put it in there. And I'm not allowed to work on it until one of these other fucking things is done.
Fuck, man. I may need to hire you after this, Matt.
I'm open for it.
You're speaking my language, dude. Dude, and I love how you said the macro. You know, so many people forget, they go after those goals, but they don't have the macro, the micro goals. They don't see past the big thing that they want. And just like you said, the avoidance list, it's like that's strong shit, because so many people, including myself, you know, we get so far ahead of just chasing that thing or creating the new idea and just going, I'm a creative, I'm a maniac, and I'm a lunatic. Mikey can tell you all day, I've got ideas nonstop, but
How?
What?
That's personal. I feel that.
Yeah.
It's me every day.
Well, no. I'm saying, like, yeah, you can hear it every day and see it. Yeah. But when people stop to think about the little things, or just like you said, we'll bring it back to your Highland Games or the powerlifting. People forget those little macro, micro steps and goals, dude. So, how did you yourself kind of come up and create that within your kind of own belief?
You know, it's funny, right? Coaching makes you better at things.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've used this behind me as a way to track things for like the last 9 years of managing an apparel business and doing everything else, because I'm a visual guy. Like, I need an analog solution.
Yeah.
Like, I fucking love this tool. There's never been a greater fucking thing made than this. With that, do I realize it's dangerous? Yeah, of course. But that's user error. So I'm not storing like everything that I want to focus on in the same place that has all the distractions. That's fucking crazy to me.
Well said.
Like, I want to be able to put my hand on a thing and move it. So much of this work that we do, especially as creatives, is digital.
Mm-hmm.
There's never any real feeling of like this getting done.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I still work to create stuff. Like, that's why I know that for me to be really progressive, right? Like something that helps me deload from creative business, I need a physical project to work on. I can build a van. I can fucking make furniture. I can paint. But I have to prioritize it just as important as the other work is, because I know it makes me feel more connected to why I do the thing.
Yeah.
I know its purpose.
A big issue that we run into, because I work predominantly with tattoo artists, not only like in-house, because I've done apprenticeships and education in that aspect.
You tell them to show up on time, and that would take care of like 3/4 of their business problems.
Still the hardest thing to get them to do. You know,
I'm aware.
Yeah.
I tattooed for a couple years and apprenticed for a while. And like, I've always thought, I was like, if I ever have to go back to this business, I would enjoy tattooing, like the actual work of it. I always did. And I just knew, I was like, I show up on time and I'm professional. I'll fucking move pretty ahead of people quickly here.
Yeah. It's wildly easy to become insanely successful at it, not because of the art you produce, but because of the consistency of just being a good like business owner. Be on time, be early. Don't show up hungover. Do your art ahead of time. The question I was going to ask you,
we have an appointment at noon and now we're going to draw until 6 p.m. Like, what the fuck, man?
Yep, absolutely. I mean, so that was the question I was going to ask. I mean, a lot of people, especially creatives, whether it's tattooing, photography, commission painters, whatever the case may be, because they've monetized their passion, they then sit around and wait for the next request to be put in or the next DM to slip in, and they almost lose themselves in that. So my question to what you had just said is, as a creative, being able to separate yourself from the creative work to the creative output, how valuable is one to the other? Not in contrast of, but the alignment of both. Also, I had no idea you did a tattoo apprenticeship. That's awesome. We're gonna have to dive
fucking had a lot of weird jobs, man. I've done everything for like 6 months. So the creative process for me is pretty detached from creative outcome. So any of the stuff that I've created that's become the most successful, and I'll, try to put my own finger on what I think that is. One would be writing a book. One would be building out my studio, my space here. Dope. Building my van, any of these type of things. These are for me first. The apparel that sold the best was the stuff that I felt compelled to make. That like I had an idea in me that I have to get out. What I do with it once it's out, that's marketing strategy that comes into play. That's a totally different side of my brain. Writing a great book and selling a book are not the same fucking strategy. One has nothing to do with the other. Writing a great book that no one's ever heard of will not sell. It will not work just on the work alone. To be great, it takes both. But for me, the creative process at its origination point has to be for me, from me. In a time where there's so much creative being done with AI and anything else, and I love these tools. Authenticity is going to keep shining because we can't replicate it.
One thing that I always noticed, and this is kind of one of the reasons I love speaking with people in the fitness industry as well as creatives as like their output of their business, is the same intensity that goes into your physical fitness, your body transformation, your growth, in your fitness journey also has to go into your creative process. It has to come with the same, as we said, like mind to muscle, mind to pen, paintbrush. And I think that's one thing that Jake and I have worked in the fitness industry from a different capacity for a while. And the one thing I loved about that, because I'm not a gym bro, I'm just a little dude who lost a crap ton of weight, and I found passion in that. But I love the energy of the fitness individuals I was associating with, because it matched what tattooing was to me. The passion, the purpose, the grit, and all of that. And that's why I like these conversations, because there's connecting elements to all of it, not in necessarily what we do, but how we do it, and the love for the stress and the struggle and the challenge.
Yeah. I mean, so one of the big areas that I focus on for me that's helped change my mind a lot is just around gratitude and abundance. And these are terms that couldn't be thrown around any more haphazardly currently. So what do I think on them? I practice gratitude the same way I practice throwing. The same way when I write every morning in my journal, I'm practicing. Like I'm practicing becoming this version of me. And so with abundance and gratitude and being able to see the world how I choose to see it, I think existential crisis is something that we deal with a lot. I think midlife crisis, all these type of things that we see in men when it comes to reformulating identity, of realizing who I thought I was supposed to be is not who I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Having the ability to have existential crisis means things are going pretty goddamn good.
Elaborate on that.
Yeah.
I don't have to go hunt food tonight. I get to think about how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not needing to go chop firewood today. Like, you only have existential crisis once things are going pretty well. Food, water, shelter has to be sorted.
Mm.
Like the fact that you have time to even wonder about self-actualization means you're out of the real fucking darkness that is being a creature on this planet.
So how do you handle people who just refuse to either leave the darkness or accept the fact that their comfort zone doesn't need to be the darkness anymore, because they actually have, as you had said, like proof of concept that you have what it takes to move closer into the light or more into a more valuable potential self?
Are they asking for help or not?
I think that in itself is a different question. I think everyone's asking for help, but are they willing to do
No,
what's
they're not.
required?
No.
No, they're not.
No.
People that are asking for who actually want help are ready to take action.
That's
Otherwise, they're not. And so, like, those people that operate there in that place, I don't have anything to tell them. I think you're allowed to choose to live your life the exact same way I am choose to live mine. I choose to live mine according to this. I think it's an interesting choice, but if I'm allowed to have this freedom and I don't care about your judgment, I give you the same leeway. I don't care.
Yeah.
If you would like to change, I have some strategies that can make it happen. But I tell clients in my first call, I'll never fucking care about your dreams more than you. If I do, they're not your dreams anymore.
Fair enough.
Like, I don't want to I'm not interested in convincing people to give a shit about themselves. I want to help people who do figure it out. We both know how many people we've talked to and worked with and tried to inspire change in, numerous people, family members, anyone else, that when you come on this journey and things start changing and things start going well. Mm-hmm. I got no fucking evidence, man, that no matter how much I care and what information I share, that I can change anyone who doesn't want to change.
Yeah.
But if someone decides they want to change, the capacity of change is almost infinite. Yeah. Someone can go from drug addict to millionaire and back. It's fucking incredible.
Just like the addict.
Yep.
Until they want to change.
But if that person doesn't choose it, I can't help.
No.
And so that person's already being told all the things they shouldn't be doing. I'd rather just be an example of someone enjoying their life. So that's what I focus on, is I try to be the change I would like to see. Instead of talking about it, I try to enjoy my life and be happy.
Fucking A, man. Well said.
Sounds familiar, huh, Mike?
Yeah. I feel like it's a conversation.
Conversations that Mike and I have had. I mean, we're really kind of, as much as we love the online space, we're really trying to get back out. And I feel like 2026 is the year of connection. As a gym owner for so many years, I was a musician for many, many years. And
dude, you get it.
It's crazy you're talking about the van and the things, because the most emotional I get is when I'm not on stage. And this is the longest of my life I've not been on that stage out of 30 years of my musical career. Our last show was 2 years ago. The last time I screamed into a microphone was about a year ago.
What was your band, Jake?
A band called Mantis, Mantis.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, we were pretty big.
Fucking right on, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, between that, entertaining on stage in front of, all over the world, to then owning my gym and running a 40 person CrossFit class. It's like I was always on stage, and I told Mike within these last 6 years to just be behind the screen, it gets to that point where like, I got to get out. And so me and Mikey told ourselves, we said 2026, A, I'm going to open a facility, and B, we're going to do a lot of just touring, getting out, shaking hands, meeting people, conversating in a real life, because as much as I'm blessed to have this home and this office and all the things and be so creative, it doesn't do shit on the real world. So we got to get back. And so what you just said right now is exactly what me and Michael, showing the social proof, showing the connectivity, being creative outside your fucking computer screen, and just living the life that people generally want to see.
Dude, hosting. How old are you guys?
43.
39.
Okay. Ballpark. We're all the same.
Yeah.
With the advent of like digital stuff coming on board during our lifetime, like we got really lucky to have a very analog youth, which would be a sick name for a band, by the way.
That was pretty good.
I'm in.
We got really lucky to have that, right? And I understand how over the years and our own innate desire to remove inconvenience from our life shifts things. Even growing up, I don't think video games were the issue because I had 15 dudes in my house waiting for football practice to play GoldenEye. We're all talking shit and hanging out. Community's happening. Like there's only 4 people playing. Everyone else is hanging out and talking shit.
Yeah.
Right. We go digital. It's not the same feeling not being in the room with everyone. Like this digital community stuff is really great because now you get a much wider view to see that your people do fucking exist somewhere. But you have to go. It doesn't replace the in-person thing. It's like consuming nothing but processed food and thinking that's nutrition your entire life. It doesn't replace whole foods. I get why we shifted to it. It's convenient. It doesn't fucking go bad. Like it's miracle shit, man. I can talk to people on the other side of the country immediately, but it's not the same as doing it in person.
Yeah.
It just isn't. And, that's one of the reasons we started hosting retreats. That's why the space I have here, dope, and the gym, it's free.
Where are you located, Matt?
St. Louis.
Okay.
Jake, I'm telling you, we got to get you out to the Midwest sometime.
Come on, man. But doing those events and getting people to actually connect in person.
Yeah.
Like I learned that years ago. I got really lucky, spent 10 years doing outside sales in the oil and gas industry and building lots of relationships, maintaining them for a business purpose, not necessarily with people I wanted to fucking hang out with, but I'm good at it. And so once I shifted into focusing on me and my life, I wanted to surround myself with the people that made me better. And so becoming friends with Kelly Starrett or Aubrey Marcus or Kyle Kingsbury or Rob Bailey or any of these other people that I've been lucky enough to have as mentors, they didn't fucking travel to me, man. They didn't call me up and said, hey man, I'd sure like to hang out. No, I figured out a thing they were going to be at and I went, or I knew someone that knew someone and I went and I got in front of people. And I made myself valuable. I stay in touch because I know Kelly, Rob, Aubrey, any of these people, I don't get much out of it's not what I get from the retreat. It's what I get from knowing those guys who are pursuing their lives that way. Whether or not I agree with their complete life choices, I don't give a fuck. Everyone's free to live their life how they want to. I'm not in judgment of that. What I am excited about is seeing someone who's built their own universe. Someone that's so much in love with their thing that they're going that way. You don't get it. That feeling is what I want to be around. That fearlessness to pursue the next idea. That me not having a problem in putting a goal on my board that I know takes 10 years. I can do that.
So does that right there, seeing you spark up like that, does that get you just as excited as when
Every time.
when you compete in the Highland Games?
Every time. So does public speaking.
Okay, because that was going to be my next question: is what
Public
gets you fired up like
speaking. So for me, to go with what you're talking about, being on stage performing, right? Public speaking, hosting retreats, doing those type of things. It didn't matter to me necessarily the arena, how many people or any of that. I like this moment that whenever the fucking like rubber meets the road, I like knowing that now's the fucking time that we have to do the thing we've practiced.
Yeah.
Nowhere to hide. Can't blame it on anyone else. All the work has to be good right now. And I love that shit.
See,
I love what it draws out of me.
That's why I've got the fear of public speaking. To me, I've been up in front of the stage of 60,000 people.
It's different spilling your guts, and it's different spilling your guts instead of doing a thing.
Everyone's like, how are you so nervous of that? And I go, it's different. It's different. If I could scream my public speak, I could do that shit all day.
Oh, dude, what else is different with public speaking? Hosting events versus me being invited to speak at a thing.
Yeah.
If I'm invited to speak anything, the mentality feels more like an opening band.
Yeah.
Like ain't nobody there for me.
Yeah.
So like I have to explain my story to get them on board.
Hosting is what I get the thrill out of hosting. I love I love putting on events, the sound system, the stages, the sponsors, the apparel companies. That's what I love.
I want to create for a living. That's what I have chosen as my current purpose. Maybe that changes. I don't know. But right now, that's what it is. I don't have real specifics that I'm trying to give the universe on what that creation has to look like. If you're giving me an opportunity to create, I will answer with the best effort I can, whether that is books or that is content or that is being a guest on a podcast or that is putting together courses or it's hosting an event or creating an experience for someone to have. I want to create. I want to take stuff from an idea in my head and see it materialize. And to me, that's that back connection to the divine energy anyway.
Fucking A.
Well said. I went through a weird stage in my creativity where I started to hit those roadblocks where I believed all creation came from me, and that created a lot of burnout, a lot of creative block. But when I opened myself up to realize if I can have a good day and I can imagine something and then boom, I make it so. I give it everything I have, my heart, my soul, my creativity, and my intention. How could I not potentially believe there was something above me, bigger than me, as a creator, helping me to create the creation? And that opened up my ability to do so many things and to be creative in all things. You know, and one thing that always speaks to me about certain individuals, I mean, you had named a lot of people, I think you and I know in passing, that speak to me in volumes. You know, it's not about the things that you have or what it is you show necessarily as content, but the way you carry yourself in the creativity on how you express, whether that's in apparel, in a painting, in the way that you can just speak so genuinely. All of that is a sense of creativity. And hearing you say that, like that kind of belief, that kind of approach, that kind of authenticity, like that's what gives me the head to toe body feeling. That's why I go to retreats and masterminds and meetups, is because when you hear someone speak with such conviction, that is a sense of creativity that comes from something deeper than just like face value.
There's a point right there that's really, really important. How many people are looking for a template, a thing, or whatever it is, right? What you said right there matters more than anything else. Most of the people you're talking to are unsure, right? It's not so important that they believe exactly what you believe. And that goes for me with dealing with Aubrey, Rob, any number of my mentors, that we don't agree on everything. but I know they believe it.
Mm-hmm.
What matters is that I know their conviction.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily concerned with what they're convicted to, as long as I don't believe it inhibits anyone else's path to live out their dreams.
Mm-hmm.
But like Rob's story to success or Aubrey's story to success, do you know what fucking level of insanity like that journey is?
Yeah.
Like Aubrey's first job was his stepdad invented Fleshlight.
Say that again?
Yeah. Yep.
Interesting.
Aubrey Marcus.
Say it.
Yeah, and like all this is public, none of this is hidden, but his stepdad invented the Fleshlight. So Aubrey's first job was young man partying, working in an industry as a sales rep for Fleshlight.
Family business.
They were Rogan's very first sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
And they would just send boxes of them. And it was funny. And they would just give them out to people who came on the show. And over time, Aubrey partying came up with, got into taking care of himself a little bit more.
Yeah.
And so he came up playing around with supplements. He came up with an upper to get ready for partying called Roll On.
Yeah.
And he came up with something for dopamine, serotonin uptake for coming off of partying called Roll Off.
Yeah.
These later became Alpha Brain and New Mood.
That's
Like that company sold for over $1 billion.
That's wild.
Like, fuck telling me that anything's like not possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyone that plans to go to Burning Man has got to be a little bit of insanity. You know what I mean?
I highly recommend it.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah.
I've been the last 2 out of 3 years.
No shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of my all-time favorite experiences. I will continue to go as long as I can.
The thought's been there, man. Yeah, my wife and I.
If there's any curiosity, go.
Okay.
It's not what you think it is, which I don't know what you think it is, but I know it isn't that.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
It's a bit more like gay Mad Max and camping with your friends in the desert. It's taking your buddies and going to a really terrible place to camp.
Yeah.
It's hot and dusty and windy. It's completely fucking unreasonable.
Well, after
and
this
80,000 people roll out.
Yeah.
And you can't buy anything once you're there.
Wasn't this year like a pretty bad one too? This last year?
I went the year that we got a bunch of rain, and then I was there this year. So we got rain and wind, and there were issues, but like I had a great time both times.
Yeah.
Like one of the things that makes Burning Man awesome is the filter. It's really fucking hard to get there.
Yeah.
Tickets are expensive. It's a bit annoying. You need a week's worth of shit and a place to live and survive in a place that sucks. No one's there on accident.
Yeah.
Everyone is very opted in for the experience.
I like that.
And so you have all of those things, but no one complains. Everyone's just enjoying it. If it's raining, people dance in the mud.
Do you think that's all by design?
I don't know whether someone intelligently said, let's make this harder for people to get in so that we only get the right people, but it seems to work.
Yeah.
That's why I make coaching expensive. That's why retreats are expensive. Because I want to know that if you're there, you actually give a fuck.
So beside Burning Man, what else? I mean, if you're familiar with the band, do you go to concerts? Are you,
I did for a long time. I tour managed for a buddy's band for, 3 or 4 years, kind of post college. Okay. So we did, I think 1 year we did a Warp tour. We did some other stuff, small stage stuff, just 15 passenger van, 7 dudes grinding it out.
Oh, yeah. Fun. Yeah.
One of my favorite times ever. I turned down keeping the job as $400 a month plus selling merch weren't what I was looking for.
No, why not?
No, I know that sounds fucking nuts. I'd already done it for 2 years for less than that. So
fuck the tour managers, man. I think we made $10 per DM. and then whatever
dude,
we'd steal from the
I
merch
would sell
box.
merch because I'd make more money off my merch commission than the band made playing. Because
My
I could
merch guy
sling
fucking
fucking
lived
merch.
the best life. Yeah, my best friend was the merch guy, and we'd come in and we'd get done with the show, and he's got my bottle of Jack Daniels, he's smoking our fucking cigarette, he's in our bus, and I'm like, why are you not selling t-shirts? He's like, I sold out of everything. I'm like, fucking guy. But dude, you nailed it, man. I mean, I had the luxury. I had what's the word I'm looking for? The best time of my life, dude. For I think we did about a good 7 years of touring, man. And we went through van to a better van, to an RV, to a better RV, to then a bus. Whoa. And that was the life. But once that came into life, that's when I said, I'm going to fucking die on this road if I do not. Because by the time you get to that bus level, it's just no filter. And it just, you're right. It came from a pack of beer to to a bottle of Jack Daniels, to 2 bottles of Jack Daniels, to 2 bottles of Jack Daniels, a case of beer, and then
whatever you want.
Everything. And that's when it was like, I think this was like 2008. I finally was like, I'm going to die. I got to stop. And then I went to culinary school, and then I got into fitness in 2010. And it was the best. I tell everybody, man, if I had not made that decision, I probably would no longer be here.
Dude, if you guys are looking to host stuff, please do. Yeah. I'm happy to talk about anything coaching wise, to tell you how I go about it and how I build that in.
Really appreciated.
Yeah, dude.
Look, I don't. So I try to operate from a place of abundance. Yeah. And I try to avoid scarcity. I don't believe there's any number of people you could host or coach or anything that would impact whoever I can help. What I want is more people helping. Mm-hmm. That's how, there's a number of people in my group, right, that want to become coaches or anything else. And so like I open up a spot on our Thursday night calls for anyone who wants to coach. Come get reps, host a call. What am I going to believe? They're going to come up with something and steal clients from me? Like, if one of my clients feels like they're a better fit, please go.
Out of curiosity, like what is the premise to your particular program? Obviously, like, do you have a community or one-on-one?
So I do both.
What's the foundation?
So I've got a community. I've got one-on-one coaching. My main focus is one-on-one coaching, and then facilitating the community for really managing itself. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be dad. What I want is independent people who can talk to each other and who actually want to be around like-minded, abundance-driven people. Mm-hmm. And so that's where the community really comes into place. I host a weekly call there. My one-on-one coaching, what I really want to focus on is making successful, miserable men happy. There's nothing I fucking hate more than miserable men who can't see they already have everything they wanted. And being able to change their mindset around that, clean things up. You probably don't need to burn it all down, have an affair, or leave your job. Mm-hmm. Most likely the problem's you and how you choose to see the world and where you choose to pay attention. Let's clean that up, and then at least you have an idea of what decision you really need to make. What I like is teaching people the mindset of consistency and discipline, so that if you then try to decide, I want to focus on entrepreneurship, you actually can follow through and not get in your own way. Mm-hmm. You know how to avoid burnout. You actually know how to take care of yourself so that you are your most valuable asset. So many men I know that reach that point of midlife crisis have all of their self-worth tied to what they provide for everyone else. I mean, how many men do I know if I ask, what's the last time someone told you I love you and it wasn't someone you provide anything for? Someone that doesn't depend on you.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, most people don't hear it. Most people don't have friends. Most people are alone.
How often do you run into men who just don't understand the true definition of love because of that being the case?
Most.
Yeah, I get that. It's transactional in most cases.
Sure, right? But it's also been transactional with yourself. Mm-hmm. Most men don't unconditionally love themselves. It's totally built on what they've acquired, provided, accomplished, what the next goal is, that I'll be happy when.
Yeah.
Not I'm enough now and I'm curious to what else I can accomplish. But if I take that boot off my neck of ever thinking that I'm happy and can be here, I would get lazy.
At what point did you learn this for your own experience? You know, is this something that you once upon a time struggled with as well, and that's how you learned the exit strategy of that like boot on the neck? Or is this something that you've just known forever and can speak on volumes to it?
So the more curious I kind of got with spirituality, and I guess what that means for me is me talking to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I look at that as being able to manage my thoughts, my stress and stuff like that. And like, I'm not my thoughts. I don't fucking know where they come from, but I want to be able to become less reactive to my thoughts and feelings. That gives me the ability to choose to respond how I want. And I can choose to respond intentionally in a way that aligns with who I want to become. And if I can do that 51% of the time, I'm him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not my thoughts. Also, can I recognize those thoughts as patterning or what my biology is tuned to? Like, of course we're tuned to threat detect, right? Like a couple million years of evolution, none of the good things have ever fucking killed us. So we don't pay any attention to them. So we constantly threat detect. That's our biology scanning, looking for problems. What's the next thing to solve? And most of us, if there aren't any problems, people are happy to start creating them to have a thing to do. Now, our psychology kicks on board and starts creating the narrative of why this is important and how we'll fail and starts building out the rest of it. But that's bullshit too. I can still choose an action that moves me toward it. So in this time of abundance that we're in, there aren't any of the same threats. And so we still recognize what we perceive to be the biggest threat as a real life threatening fucking threat. It's not. So me being able to actually recognize that the problems I have are good, that I'm trying to solve them because they actually make things better. It's not like they keep me at survival. It's being able to start reframing and rewiring those minds, that pattern. But the first step is recognizing that the pattern I have currently or did isn't me and can be changed. Instead of I am negative, I am cynical.
Mm-hmm.
I don't follow through. I am not consistent. I'm not disciplined. I'm not a morning person. None of that's genetic.
Mm.
It's practiced. You've just practiced it the other way for fucking 35 years.
I think that's a huge struggle. And it was something that I had to realize more recently once Jake and I started working together more intently is you're not a creature of your thoughts, you're a creature of your habits. But if you allow your thoughts to navigate your habits, then neither of which will ever help you get enough momentum underneath of you.
That's right.
And
I'm just an amalgamation of my habits, my experiences, those type of things. I mean, if I can't appreciate now and be present and give what demands the best of me for today that aligns with who I want to become, I won't be able to enjoy when I get there in the future. Like if I can't enjoy the present now, I'm not going to enjoy it then. I try to give as much presence to today as I can. I don't know how long I got, man. That's what really kicked all Not Dead Yet off was my dad dying. He died in 2014, pancreatic cancer, 11 months. And I just remember him saying it wasn't the plan. We'd got out of school. He and mom were going to get to start traveling. And look, he didn't do a ton of favors to himself, taking care of himself or any of these type of things. And the point is, you don't know how long you got. Mm-hmm. What I do know is the ride has an end. And I don't know what happens after that. I didn't exist for most of the time that things have been around, and I won't exist again for the most of the time that things are around. I got like fucking 80 years to exist, dude. That's it. I live in the greatest time in human history. I get to pursue my fucking dreams. I'm one of the only humans in the history of humans to live in this time of abundance. Plus being born in America. Like, Jesus Christ, man. Talk about a fucking luck of the dice roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, America's inability to recognize that abundance that we're in will continue us to keep trying to dice ourselves up into individual identities that need to be recognized until the point that there isn't anything left of the whole.
Mm-hmm.
We're all the same. And so with my dad dying, like, it just turned the lights on for me about, I'm so much more interested in the life that I haven't lived yet than I am anything I've done. Like, I have X number of fucking hugs with my wife left. I have X number of days to chase my dreams. I have X number of days to see amazing things, places to go. I have X number of good times with my best friends. I don't know what that number is, but there's one less every day.
I got to put that on the whiteboard. Holy shit.
Dude, and for my goal at the end of this ride, I don't want to ask for more time.
Yeah.
That's what I want to be able to do.
That's great. And I think a lot of us, that's what we really want. But a lot of us don't, how do I say this? They don't look at it that way. They don't go after it that way. They don't wake up every day wanting that same. They'll say it. It'll come across their mind. They'll lose a friend or a loved one. It'll be in their mind for the next couple weeks, but then it vanishes.
But dude, I've got notebooks and notebooks filled with.
Yeah.
I write it every fucking morning to myself.
Yeah. It's incredible. So one thing I've probably never done.
Programmed.
Yeah, that's probably the one thing I've never done is journaled. I've preached it,
dude.
I've got the morning routine, but I've never went pen to paper and journaled mornings. I've done the 10 pages or, put up the quote in my storyline kind of thing. But as far as just writing, one, I got horrible handwriting. That's not an excuse.
So what?
Two, I'm
not writing it for consumption.
Sure.
I'm writing it to rewire my thoughts.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good way to approach that, because I think that's a big issue. Is you're right. It's not about going back and rereading it. You're not trying to write a book to publish. You're just trying to get the thoughts out so they don't loom and navigate your patterns.
Wild.
Well, and it's realistic. I mean, how many people don't journal that just get lost in thought, that feel distracted, feel bogged down, and all these things they start creating weight in clarity. The one thing that I love is the ability to sit down silently in my own thoughts and find clarity, not a tornado mess anymore. Years ago, because of my drug addiction, my alcoholism, my partying and all that, I found myself in prison. I was the only guy in prison who was like, I'm just here because I heart to party. You know what I mean? There wasn't a lot of flex to that, but there was also not a social circle I wish to be able to enter. So it put me in a position to get really, really happy and really, really comfortable with the man inside here, because I needed people around me at all times, because it helped distract me from my own thoughts. That's where I got good at journaling and goal setting and really like doing the reverse engineer process. But it helped with the clarity of the vivid vision. If I don't have it down tangibly, then it doesn't stay clear in any capacity. And so journaling in prison was the one thing that gave me more freedom there than I did in my real life any other time in my timeline.
So here's awareness that you should build around any of the fucking habits in your life. And this is probably, I've got a call I got to take shortly, so I hate to wrap up on this, but
all good.
If you can find any type of a practice, breath work, journaling, going for a walk, I don't give a shit. Whatever it is, the only awareness that you have to have, if this helps me when I'm at my worst, why would it hurt me if I'm strong?
Yeah.
But we quit doing those practices once we feel this, I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then we dip back down and then we return to it and then we do it again. Yeah. That feeling of I only do it when things are bad enough will only get us to good enough. Continuing to do it once things are good, to amplify good, is a very different strategy. And most people drop the ball there.
Mm-hmm.
But if you only will take serious action and follow through when things are bad enough, you will only ever get to good enough because you'll come off the gas once things are comfortable.
Yeah. Love that, man. That's a beautiful sentiment to wrap it up. So, Matt, my man, if people don't know who you are quite yet, where is it they can find you?
Yeah, not dead yet _life on Instagram, and Matthew P. Vincent on Instagram's the easiest way. If anyone's interested in working with me or reaching out, send me a DM or send me an email, matt@mattvincent.net.